this episode is what is your experience? Because I ain't gonna lie, I was watching this YouTube video. Shout out to Luke Hopkins. I was watching one of his videos, and he's basically just saying he's like it was like the talking portion at the end of this video. So basically, he'll do like a vlog, kind of like what I do in a sense. I kind of mentioned in the last vlog that kind of inspired the talking portion. Other than the fact that it just takes up buku space on the video, but I just think it also like just gives kind of like a heart to heart thing. Anyway, not to get too deep on that, but basically he was just asking like, what is your experience, like what do you go through, like what is going on in your life? So I think a lot of times in society there's so much social media, there's so much of other people's lives plastered in front of us that we forget what our own even experiences. And I've experienced that too. It's just I've experienced periods where I may have been too intrigued to what other people do instead of really being present in what I have in front of me and what my own self-worth is and what my relationship with my friends are, and just my social, just stuff within me, instead of always this person and this person. I mean, with social media, it's so easy to access that nowadays. So I don't think a lot of people feel like they are really the driver in their own seat. But anyway, I just think that's kind of the context of what this title is, and just giving y'all a little backstory of what I'm about to get into. But anyway, first thing I want to get into is prioritizing what really matters. So I just think if you're not prioritizing what really matters, it's really easy to just find things that other people are doing and focus on that instead of what you're really doing. And I just don't think if you have priorities, you're just gonna be kind of like a head. I hope not a chicken with his head cut off. We don't want floating heads around here. That's weird. Anyway, you're just gonna be like a chicken with his head cut off, just roaming around aimlessly, like just not really knowing where to go with things. And I just think if you don't have your own priorities, you don't really have enough care. You don't really have enough intention, and really you don't really have a direction and where you're going. So you're just trying to seek what other people are doing and what just other stuff that's honestly a distraction to combat that, because you don't really have a set thing that you're really focused on and a set thing you really care about. So obviously main thing you should prioritize is your health, your fitness, your training, whatever that is, people you talk to, people you care about. For me, content creation. So me talking to you right now, getting this message out to you, vlogs. I got a vlog editing. I mean, AI exists. I guess they can edit your videos now, but I have a vlog rendering, not editing. I already edited it. Just stuff that you really have you're not passionate, but you really have passion about, and you really care about, and you really, things that you're willing to commit to and be consistently good with, and I just think a lot of people just don't have that. So they're trying to search for that in social media. And I ain't gonna lie, I can kind of relate to that, because I feel like if you're just not focused on your own experience and you're just on social media chronically, it's because it's just you feel empty, you feel lost, you don't feel like you necessarily have a purpose, or you're just kind of trying to look, and you're just kind of getting FOMO from seeing all these people do things that you may or may not want to do, and you're just seeing all their lives. But at the same time, I've mentioned this before, these are all highlight reels. It's not in reality. I mean, it could be reality. I don't really know, because some people are more transparent and more, I guess, real than others, if you want to say that. But at the same time, it's a snapshot. You don't know what they're doing the other 22, 23 hours of the day. That's just a split snapshot of what's going on. It may be real, it may be not. The social media is an interesting place, so I don't really know. But I just think if you don't really prioritize what really matters, that's what is most likely the cause that you're just roaming aimlessly on the internet, just roaming aimlessly, asking other people what they're doing. I mean, within reason, I think if you can learn what to do and what not to do from other people. But at the same time, I think you should take that and actually apply it. Because if you don't apply it, there's going to be no growth. You can look and ask all day, but if you don't experience yourself, how are you really going to know? Because I think experience is like one of the main teachers. Because honestly, when people, they go to college and they're like, oh, I want to, learn from other people. I understand that. I mean, like I was talking to my sister last night. We went to Kava. I ain't gonna lie. Kava, that what's it called? It's like this what's the word? Falafel wrap. I can't pinpoint the exact name, but bro, if y'all go to Kava, try that. It's gas. Anyway, other than me talking about a wrap that was really good, you should actually go try it. I just think a lot of people go to college. They don't. It's not because I think if you want to be like a lawyer or like a doctor, something that requires like a hard certificate, college is a very good idea. And if you just want to go in that field, I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, do what you want, but that's just my opinion. Like for me, I'm trying to, not even trying, I'm going to continue doing content creation and, running, lifting, stuff like that. So I don't really necessarily think I would have to be bound to college just for me personally. Because I like learning from experience. And I just think a lot of times people go to college because, they might not know what they might not know. They may not know what they want to do in life, which is fine. I mean, you shouldn't have, I don't think everybody, because I think this is not really off topic, but a lot of people think when you get to college and you're about to graduate, you need to have everything figured out. And I don't think that's realistic at all. You should have an idea, but I don't think it should be the end all be all because I don't think you should be restricted to, oh, I need to go to college. I have my whole life figured out when I'm 18. You're still a kid in a sense. You're legally an adult, but I think you're still a kid. So I don't think it's really realistic. But anyway, I just think a lot of times people go to college to follow a blueprint in the norm, and they're not really experiencing their own experience. They're experiencing what someone else told them to experience. They're not experiencing what they really want. And I just think at the end of the day, your mom might not like it, your dad might not like it, your grandpa might not like it. But if you, let's say you want to go to HCC or you want to go to, I don't know, law school or whatever you want to do, if you really want to do that and you really want to experience that, I would say go for it. You don't have to follow a blueprint. Now, I'm not saying college is bad, but if you generally just don't want to do that, I don't really think you should. I don't think you're obligated to do anything that the norm and society is put out in front of you. But anyway, I just think prioritizing really matters. It's the driver of your experience. If you don't prioritize things, I don't think you really have the direction and an idea of where you want to go with things. But second thing I want to go over, this kind of ties into the first one, being the driver. Because I just think, like I mentioned with social media, a lot of people, especially like with TikTok, that's why, because the thing is, this is kind of funny because people think since I post on Instagram or like TikTok, I be on Instagram a bit more than talk. What is talk? Be on Instagram a bit more than TikTok. It's like 7 in the morning. Bear with me, guys. I'm still kind of waking up, but I be on Instagram a bit more than TikTok. But a lot of people I've heard, like not a lot, like maybe 2 people I was talking to like in my class. They're like, "Oh, you be on Instagram all the time? You be on the?" No, I don't. I mean, I be on there. Let's not lie. I mean, I'll be on Instagram. I'm on YouTube the most. It's a little kid in me. I love YouTube, but like, I've already done enough doom scrolling and just scrolling all day back in the day. Just it's not worth it. And when you're doing that, you're not the driver. You're just being controlled by, things you see on the screen and just things that are instant gratifiers that just grab your attention, and you're not really focused at all. But anyway, I'm going to just finish my little side tangent real quick. But yeah, people just think since I post a lot, because, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I drop a lot of content just because I'm trying to be consistent with it, trying to give you all content, just trying to, show you all some cool things. But anyway, it's just, the assumption is, oh, I'm on the internet all day. No, I just post and I leave. Anyway, that was a random side tangent, but that was just on my head. So, just wanted to say what was on my head. But anyway, in terms of being the driver, I just think with social media, like it's like with things like TikTok, it's so easy to just scroll. Now, okay, if it's like maybe, okay, I'm gonna use this very loosely, but don't take this with a grain of salt. Like controlled scrolling, like you like deliberately have a time in your day, like maybe you're winding down, you scroll for like 5 to 10 minutes. Don't really see an issue if you got all your obligations and things you needed to get done and wanted to get done for the day. But if you're just scrolling randomly, like in the middle of work, I don't think that's beneficial because you're not present. You're present on TikTok, not in your work. So I just don't think if you're not worried about your own experience, you're not the driver. You're trying to worry about someone else's experience, and they're driving your life, and they're driving what you perceive your life to be. Because if you're worried about, oh, how fast this person runs, or what this person wears, or this person's relationship, what about your relationship? What about what you wear? What about your splits? You see what I'm saying? You're so intertwined to what they got going on, and they're driving your life. They're driving what you think about yourself. You're not driving anything. You're just being controlled. You're being driven everywhere. So I just think if you're the driver, you set the conditions for what you want your life to be. Obviously, there's some things that are going to come out of nowhere and slap you in the face, and you're just going to be like, oh, okay. But I mean, that's how life is. But I just think I heard, well, the set the conditions things, I've heard about that for a minute. I mean, setting the conditions, it could be applied in different ways. Like setting the conditions be, for me, like maybe meal prepping and then prepping my clothes or whatever. But setting the conditions for your life is just setting the standard, or setting the precedent for what you want the outcome to be. And like I said, obviously, life, a higher power, God, they're gonna have different plans for you sometimes. Sometimes it's gonna be like, hey, you need to do this instead of this. It's gonna smack you like, hold on, whoa, slow down. But I just think at the same time, we're all, obviously, some people are in circumstances, yes, but in certain circumstances. But at the end of the day, I feel like we all have the power to change. We have the power to change. No one else can change for you. And if you're not the driver, how are you supposed to change? Because you're reliant on some external source to change. And you're not reliant on yourself and your own experience and what you have to offer. You're reliant on what social media has to offer, what other people have to offer. And it's honestly a trap, because it's a sense of you not feeling worthy enough, and you not feeling like you have the courage and the ability to do it just because you saw someone do something quote unquote better or whatever. But in reality, if you just take time to really double down on yourself and be all in and be like, all right, I can do this. I just have to take it one step at a time. And you really take the time to be the driver of your life instead of being driven everywhere. I think that's where you really set the conditions, and that's where you really learn to be present, really learn to be content with who you are just as a human being. But that's kind of what I wanted to say for that part. I'm going to go on to the third part. This is kind of a conjunction of three different things, but I initially had this as like two of them together and then one at the end, but I wanted to put them all together because I feel like they all correlate. But third thing is focus, time, and energy. I just think one thing going into this year I wanted to work on just personally, just when I'm doing something, I want to be focused just on that. You know what I'm saying? And I just think a lot of times, just with society, we're such on a go thing, which I think at certain periods of life you should be. It might be a sprint. You have to sprint to something to get to the other end of the tunnel. But I just think it's hard to focus for real when you're trying to focus on subject A, subject B, subject C, subject D, and then you're trying to focus on what's other person got going on over here. So you're focused on like 5 different things, and you're not focused on what you're experiencing right then at that moment, like staying in the mile, staying in the hour, staying in the minute, whatever. And I just noticed for me, the thing is with me, I like things being done right when I start. You know, like let's say I start folding clothes and then someone pulls me to the side like, hey, mom, like my mom's like, oh, can you help me with this? Or my grandma's like, can you help me like this? And I'm like, I'm folding clothes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want it to be done in there. But sometimes you have to take a step back so you can, tend to other things that might be more important and then finish it as fast as you can. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think prioritizing what really matters and having non-negotiables, getting those done first, making those are like high priority, and then delegating things from there. And I just think where you focus and then where you put your time and energy, I think is very important. Because I just think if you're not focused, you're going to put your time and energy in the wrong places. Because if you're not, let's say for me, a lot of the times when I would work on, let's say a video or a school assignment, or maybe planning out a podcast or whatever I'm doing, like in terms of, working for me, it's not even work, but just doing my thing. But anyway, hey, let's say, here's a quick tidbit. There's this app called Opal. It's kind of like Screen Time, or I think it's Focus or Screen Time for iPhone if you use that. But I believe Opal's on Android if you have an Android. But basically the thing is with Opal, if you get the premium, like it like really locks everything down. It's called like the deep focus session, so you can't even get into anything. I don't think you can even take breaks on it. But anyway, pretty much it locks apps down, and I had it for a minute, but I just kind of realized that I was getting pinged too much. And when I get pinged, it kind of throws me out of my element. Because you can put things on do not disturb. I think you can get through do not disturb better, like easier than Opal. But the thing is with Opal, lock things down. So I locked my messages because sometimes people just be pinging me. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to edit. So I just think, giving yourself, making sure you're making the time and giving yourself the respect to, when I'm focused on this, my time and energy and my presence is on this right now. Now, obviously you should plan forward, but when you're in the arena and when you're, focused on that, you should focus on that, not what you're doing later. Obviously, you would have already planned that out, so it's not even a need to worry about that. That's a reminder to me and you, because if you already planned it out and you're going to do it, what's the worry? What's the need to worry? What's the need to put your energy and your mind over there when you should be focused on this and put all your undivided attention on that, what you're working in front of you? So I just think focus is really key. If you're not focused, like I said, the time, you won't make time for it, and the energy is going to be lackluster. It's going to be mediocre because you're here physically, but mentally you're over there. You're worried about what Jimmy's doing, worried about what someone posts on social media. And I ain't gonna lie, that just gives you a lot of anxiety because you're just like, oh, what does this person think? Oh, what did they say? And in reality, you just gotta step away. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like this week is the least I've been on social media because I just realized sometimes, bro, you gotta put the phone down and really focus on what you really need to do. Because the thing is, like, that's not as important as you personally, your mind, your headspace, your peace of mind. Because to be honest, waking up and going on social media, the first thing, you're seeing so many people's lives, and you're not even seeing yours, and that's kind of scary. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think when you see all that, you get all that information first thing in the day. It's just a lot of anxiety, bro. And then so a lot of people get into doom scrolling and they just kind of forget what they're trying to do. And then they're there for 3 hours, and then their time and energy is wasted on things that weren't really as important for that time. So I just think, like, you really got to focus and double down on what your experience is and know where to delegate your time and energy, and just be cautious with that. Because I just think if you're worried about what person X and person B is doing, you're not really going to put the focus and the time and really be present in what you actually want to do and what you're doing at that point in time. But anyways, focus, time, and energy. I think that's one of the biggest things I wanted to really, I think I've gotten it down, but really lock that in this year is really bet on myself like fully and really prioritize me and people around me. But fourth thing I want to go into is, and the last thing, hold up, I'm yawning and stuff. Intuition. Now, this one is probably going to be a bit more brief, but I just think I've kind of said this before, but a lot of people know what they want to do. It's just a lack of courage and a fear of failure and a feel of, what people will say about their experience, and just a fear of experiencing it and the adversity on the other side of the tunnel. I just think a lot of times, just in real life situations, we kind of outsource too much. We look out too much to give us answers and see, okay, what's the facts about this? And obviously you want to be educated and knowledgeable, but at the same time, you just got to go out there and try. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go out there and go with your gut instinct. And if that fails you, you learn from it, and then you build upon that and you become more resilient as a result. So I just think a lot of times when it comes to maybe planning stuff out or maybe answers to something, we have the gut instinct. We have the intuition to know what we need to do. Now, obviously, we might need some mentorship and some guidance to polish it up. But at the end of the day, I think we all kind of know what we want to do and how to get there. It's just the thing is, are you going to do it or not? And I just think you have to trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you won't have the belief and you won't have the ability, because belief comes before ability. If you don't believe, obviously, ability comes with consistency and consistently doing something, and you build skill and, adaptation. But I just think if you don't believe in, obviously you're not going to fully believe in yourself all the time. I'm going to just be honest, because some moments you might be questioning yourself and you might be questioning what you're doing. I ain't gonna lie, the first half of 2025, not even half, the first part of it. We just got into February, but I just think that whole month was me just really figuring out who I am, and is really diving a bit more deeper into myself and really realizing things I need to deal with just personally. And I just think a lot of the times my intuition was there. It's just like I was like pushing it away. I'm like, whoa, like, it's just like, I think intuition and change go hand in hand, because the intuition is there. It's just a fear of change and a fear of actually following through with what your intuition says. And I just think a lot of times we're right about it. We know what to do. It's just like, okay, are we going to have the courage to change it or not? Because change is the driver of growth. You can't be doing things the same ways you've always been doing and expect a new result. You can't put in the same input to get a different output. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of what I wanted to cover. I'm not gonna lie, I really like just putting the topics and just going off my head. I prefer that more. So I think honestly, from now on, it's probably how I'm gonna record the podcast, because I feel like it's more like just a me and you sitting down just talking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not no weird stuff. Like, it's just a conversation. It made me think of like Corey. When Corey, like, he like kind of breaks the fourth wall, and like he'll like sneeze and he'll be like, oh, thank you, like that. I feel like that's what that kind of just was. Anyway, yeah, that was episode 69. Just talking about, oh, nice. Episode 69, talking about just what is your experience. I think obviously I'm still learning, but I think I've gotten better at it. Just really like this morning, like just really setting it, like when I block out time for something, that time is for me. You know what I'm saying? I think it might sound selfish, but I think you have to block out time for you so you can give time to others and be the best version of you and, influence the world and whatever. Because I mean, if you don't make time for yourself with solitude and getting things done that you really need to get done and things that will forge growth, who else will do it for you? So anyway, that's episode 69. What is your experience? That's all I got for y'all. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon. I don't know when you're watching this, but anyway, that was the episode, and I'm going to see you guys next week.